Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This feels very strange. I feel like I've not done a sit down video like this, like where I've got the camera, I'm sat in one place. Like, you know, when you see this sort of setup, that it's like a different kind of video, not out and about vlogging. Although there is out and about vlogging in this video. But yeah, it feels really strange. This feels like I should do a Q&A. I haven't done one of those in a while. Let me know down in the comments if you want another Q&A. And if you have any Qs, and if you have Qs, I might aid them. Anyway, as you might have seen from the title of this video, this is a really fun one. Basically, you guys know that a few months ago, maybe 2-3 months ago, I started a fundraiser for the Dogs Trust. I made a video about it and I asked any of you guys if you had any spare change, if you felt that you wanted to donate, then please consider donating to the Dogs Trust. It's something that I feel passionately about. Obviously, you know I love dogs. I've got Ava next to me just here. It just broke my heart, the amount of dogs that are being rehomed now post-pandemic, and now with the cost of living crisis as well. That's really what broke my heart about it, is people giving up their dogs. Not because they want to, not because they hate their dog, just because they cannot afford to keep their dog. So the Dogs Trust is now being overwhelmed with dogs, and I was like, you know what, I can use my platform to do something about it. Let's do a fundraiser. So I set the target at like £250, or it might have been 200. Either way, it was in the 200s, and I was like, that's how much I want to raise. I posted it on Instagram first before it went live on YouTube, and just posting it on Instagram, like, past £200, and I was like, okay, I need to up this. So I doubled it to like £400. Posted the YouTube video. After about 10 minutes of being posted, it went to £900, and I was like, what is going on? This is insane. So I just kept upping it, and in the end, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put it to £2,000. It's never gonna happen, but to £2,000, there we go. And guys, we hit £2,000. We surpassed £2,000 for the Dogs Trust, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you so much to each and every one of you who donated. It means a lot to me and to the Dogs Trust. And I know this because the Dogs Trust in Leeds invited me down to have a little tour of the place, to meet some dogs and just to see where the donations would be going. Now, this fundraiser was for the Dogs Trust in its entirety, not just for Leeds. And so this is gonna help, basically, this donation to the Dogs Trust is gonna help about 14,000 dogs to be cared for and everything that is involved with that. Because you know what, there is so much more to looking after dogs that need rehoming than initially meets the eye, I think, which, like, this is why going was really good, because I was like, oh my gosh, they actually like put dogs through dog school at the Dogs Trust. That is what some of the donations will be going towards, is the training of the dogs. Obviously, the paying the wages of the people who take the dogs and care for the dogs and train the dogs, like, and let alone all the volunteers that are there, but we'll come on to that. So anyway, the Leeds branch, which is my local branch of the Dogs Trust, invited me and Keegan down to go and have a little tour, and so I have some footage of that, and before I say anything else, I'll just let you have a watch. Hello. Lovely singing voice. Hello.
Now, the reason that he came in with such a loud voice there is because he spotted a dog down there.
Oh, I see.
He's quite reactive when he sees dogs in the distance.
This is Toffee. This is actually his second time here at the Dogs Trust, which is so sad because he's such a lovely dog. As you heard, he's got a lovely singing voice. And he's just so cute. Look at him. Good boy. Oh,
he's got a little
gorgeous
itchy spot there. He loves a shoulder rub.
So this first dog we met, Toffee, this broke my heart. He was so lovely. It broke my heart because this was the second time that he went to the Dogs Trust. Bearing in mind, guys, this was about 6 weeks ago now. I'm so behind with my videos, so my memory's a little hazy. But from what I remember, Toffee was brought to the Dogs Trust to be rehomed. Apparently he could scale some fences, and I think he was he was quite reactive. As you heard in those clips, he loves a little bark. I mean, he has such a lovely bark. I just could listen to that all day. Maybe not all day, but anyway, he was so lovely. Basically got brought back. The lady that had rehomed him brought him back. It just made me really sad because he's such a sweet boy. Hopefully he will find his forever home very soon, but he was lovely, and we did some little paws with him, and he was so cute. Sit. Oh, dropped it. Sorry, Toffee. Did we go again? Paw. Good boy. Good boy. That's it. Well done. Are you clever? You're clever. You've got a lovely face. Yeah, you do. You're gorgeous. Yeah. Thank you. Right, you're my friend now. Yeah. You've given me some treats. You friend me. Give me more. Yeah. I've had treats. I'll stay here now. Coming over. Sit. Sit. Sit.
Toffee, sit. Good boy. Paw. Paw. Good boy. Good boy.
Then after meeting Toffee, we got taken to the vet surgery in the Dogs Trust. And this was really interesting. Of course, they have a vet surgery at the Dogs Trust, but it just never occurred to me that that is actually like a really important part of a dog shelter. So all dogs get neutered and spayed when they arrive at the Dogs Trust, which is really good. But also lots of them sadly arrive with conditions, which you'll hear the vet talking about in this next clip, about something called cherry eye.
Operations can all happen on site without us having to take the dogs away.
And do dogs often need stuff doing when they get brought in?
Well, one of the things we do, we neuter all the dogs.
Okay.
So if a dog comes in that isn't neutered, that'll be part of the rehoming process.
What about girls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
We will also, you know, we get a lot of medical issues in some of the dogs. So recently, just to name a few, we've had a bulldog that came in with cherry eye. Which is, Sue, can you explain to me what cherry eye is? Because I always forget this.
Yeah. So they've got a gland in their eyes where the third eyelid comes and where it lubricates.
A third eyelid?
Yeah, so dogs and cats have 3 eyelids.
Which way does it all
It
go
comes
across?
from inside and it goes across.
Alright,
Yeah. So when they're sleeping it goes across. And if they're poorly, you can see it.
Yeah.
Well, but it should be tucked away so you can barely see
Yeah.
it. But some breeds, like your short-faced breeds, it prolapses, so it kind of like protrudes out.
Right.
Okay, and it's unsightly. And does it not probably spread the tears properly? Do you think it's just not functional either? Because I suppose it can't go across the eye.
Right.
So we have to put it back in basically. Yeah. So it's very common in these short-faced dogs.
Wow. So we've just had a dog recently was found as a stray with that condition. So. Yeah, that operation was done, and the dog was called Veronica, and she went home yesterday. So she was found in a bad state, came to us, brought back to health, and then we found a perfect home for her. She's gone home. We actually had a photograph of her owner sent to our Instagram account last night. Fast asleep on the sofa.
Well, that's so nice. And then just as we were exiting the vet surgery, this dog was being brought in, as you can see, fresh. This was a fresh dog that was brought in. I think she was a type of bulldog, and she'd been bred and bred and bred and bred and bred, which is why her teats were like hanging quite low. Someone had been abusing her in terms of, just recycling her for puppies, basically using her as a puppy machine, which is so sad. So I mean, it was really sad to witness, but it was also really heartening to see this dog being brought fresh in, and just to see the hope as well of going, oh my gosh, this dog is now in the right place and she's going to get all the care she needs and she won't be bred from ever again. Makes me a bit emotional thinking about it, because Joe, don't cry in this video. I didn't cry at all when I went to the dog shelter, which is really good because I probably would have cried, as you know. But yeah, it makes me really sad when dogs are abused. So seeing her being brought in, I was like, oh, she's in the right place. Let's drink my coffee. And then this next dog was an unplanned visit. This was Star. She was being walked by her trainer, and we just jumped on the back of that little walk and we're like, can we come and join? So at the Leeds branch they have three different fields, is it? I think it's actually 5. It's 5 or 6 fields, and there's 3 acres combined. I got the numbers wrong. Dogs get to walk around, explore, get off the lead. All of this field, this is just one of the fields, and there's 3 of them. This is 3 acres. So these dogs are very lucky, and this is Star, who we've just met, and she's gonna have a run around. Again, I think Star had been there for quite a long time. I think some of these dogs that look a bit, they look technically meaner, or they're bigger, or it's like they just don't get rehomed as frequently as the cuter, fluffier ones, which is really, really sad. Because Star was also lovely, and she just loved to run. She reminded me of Ava, even though they look nothing alike, just personality-wise, just running and running and running. As well as the fields, they also have like these training rings. They've got some on sand, some on tarmac, and you'll see Keegan trying to train one of the dogs a bit later through some of these agility courses. So a fun fact, when I can't remember how old I must have been, but between 8 and 12, I think, we rehomed a dog from an RSPCA shelter. And again, it broke my heart back then when I was a little kid, So much so that I sent leaflets around to every house on my road, it must have been a few hundred houses, saying, if you've got any tins, empty tin cans, or if you've got any blankets, if you've got any, all these things that this shelter were collecting, drop them off at our house and we will take them. And I explained why, because I can't remember exactly why it was, but the RSPCA were collecting empty tins. Even now it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why were they collecting empty tins? Because it obviously wasn't to directly help the dogs, but maybe they were able to recycle them or sell them on and make a bit of extra money. I don't know. But also ask for like blankets and things like that. And I used to collect all of these, put them in the garage. Mum and Dad would drive me down to the shelter, which was about a 40-minute drive away, and donate all these things. Eventually it got to the stage where Mum and Dad were like, we can't keep doing this because this is a long drive. And then even years later, we'd still get like bags of stuff left on our doorstep, and Mum and Dad were like, what have you done? We're gonna be getting tin cans on our doorstep forever now. So yeah, this is not just a recent thing. My interest in dogs and rehoming dogs is, you know, and animals of all sorts. It's not just dogs, obviously. I come from a dog family, but I care about all animals. But yeah, this isn't just a recent thing of mine. However, it did make me think, yeah, they obviously need lots of blankets and towels to use for the dogs. Every time that we've got like a towel that's gonna be chucked out, I'm gonna now put it aside and then drop it off at the local dog shelter. So please do that for your dog shelters wherever you live. It obviously doesn't have to be a Dogs Trust thing if you're in a different country. If you've got spare like duvets, I mean, I don't think the Dogs Trust takes stuffed duvets, but if you've got like duvet covers maybe, but just check on their website, look for what they need. So they might want tin cans like the RSPCA did, or they might want blankets and towels. But yeah, just have a look into that because it's better than chucking them out. Guys, we're in the laundry section. We need a washing machine this big. I feel like we do this amount of washing all the time.
It's Ava's heaven.
Ava's dream. Tennis balls.
So this is non-stop all day long.
Yeah.
Bedding is constantly coming in from other blocks. One of the great things we have here is our volunteers.
Okay.
So we actually have volunteers, believe this, come in and spend 4 or 5 hours literally just here
doing laundry.
Putting the laundry through.
Wow.
And cannot stress just how valuable that is.
Yeah.
Because by having a volunteer that does that, frees up all of that time for our handlers to go and spend more time with the dogs and do that training, or just giving the dogs extra time out of the kennel.
Yeah.
So although volunteers might initially, or people might think that volunteering here means playing with dogs all day, it kind of doesn't. Because a lot of the dogs we have will be on specific training plans because of their behaviour that we can't put them with volunteers. But the volunteers make such a difference by giving us that extra time. So honestly, we always like to say a big thank you to our volunteers because we couldn't do what we do without them.
Yes, amazing. And is all this from donations as well? People donating old blankets, duvets?
The local community are brilliant for that. So there isn't a day that passes by that someone doesn't rock up with a bin liner full of blankets or towels. They've cleared out an airing cupboard and is this any good for the dogs? And it absolutely is.
Oh, amazing.
Only things we can't take are things with feathers in, cushions and pillows.
Okay.
Anything else, duvets, blankets, anything, we can all be turned into dog bedding or used for cleaning kennels.
Amazing.
And we get through a lot of it.
Yeah, I bet.
Constant supply.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe we've got some old stuff we can donate. So I believe this dog was called Veronica? Valerie. Oh, I think there was 2 of them. They were sisters. They were brought in together, Veronica and Valerie. This was one of them, and she was so cute. Obviously, she's got a bit of an ugly face with her tongue poking out, but she was just adorable. Luckily, she found a home as well. She was already spoken for. She was going to a loving, caring home. So there were so many lovely stories in that, even though there was ones like Toffee and Star who hadn't yet got homes. Lots of dogs there had already been spoken for and they were going on to new homes, which was really lovely. And then, guys, we met 3 Rottweiler puppies and oh my goodness, they were the cutest things ever. Hello. Oh my gosh. Guys, these are Rottweiler puppies. Hello. Hello. You are gorgeous. So the story behind these, I believe there was like 9. There was 6 or 9, I think it was 9, in the litter. And basically, they were from a really good home. The owners had got them vaccinated and they'd sold 6 of the puppies. And these last 3 just weren't selling, and they were like, they need to go to their forever homes, but we don't just want to like put them on Facebook Marketplace or on like Gumtree, or just, you know, we don't want them to go just anywhere. We want them to go to loving, caring homes, and they just were worried that they wouldn't be able to find those homes. So they brought them to the Dogs Trust in Leeds, and they said, would you rehome these 3? They've been fully vaccinated, they've been fully looked after. So that's a really lovely story. Obviously they got snapped up super quick. These 3 Rottweilers were spoken for, which is a good job, because me and Keegan fell in love with them, especially the one with the orange collar, who gave me a cuddle as soon as she ran out. Thank you for the cuddles. They are so cute.
Hello.
They were all girls, and we were just like, we love her so much, and we knew Ava and Fen would love her as well, but we were like, it would just be chaos. To go for 2 dogs is enough. You know, I never even wanted 2 dogs. I wanted 1 dog. Keegan happened to have a dog. I happen to have a dog. So we've got 2 dogs. But I was like, going from 2 to 3 would be a nightmare. I cannot have 3 dogs. But I would have done in that moment. If she was available, we would have said, yep, we'll have her. So it's a good job that they were spoken for.
We always make sure we leave on the same day, so that there's not like just 1 or 2.
Oh, yeah.
Be good, baby. Give me that if you need anything.
Hello.
Will do.
Hello. Hello.
So one thing I noticed is that they do seem to know how to sit. So if you want to put them through, what's this? Yeah,
We got sit.
so if you hold it upwards, it's out of their reach.
Sit.
There we go.
Oh, you do. You. Sit. Oh, good. Sit again. Good. Good girl. Sit. Sit. Good girl. What you? Good girl. Good girls. Yes.
Do you want to get in on some of the action?
Yeah, is that all right?
Sit. Sit.
What's this? Sit.
Oh, good girl. Yeah.
Oh.
Someone's got the touch there.
Sit.
She did, to be fair.
You are
Good girl.
So good. One for you, one for you, one for you. Yeah. Oh, I'm sad they've all got homes.
Then the last dog we met was Bailey, who is also still looking for a home, and he was so cute. We went into the sand area with him, which was really fun. It's nice, different sort of sensory development for the dogs to experience loads of different like textures on their feet, whether it's tarmac, whether it's sand, whether it's grass. So we went in there with him, and Keegan did some agility with him. I mean, Bailey, as lovely as he is, he's not the best at agility. We'll put it that way, but he was so sweet. He loved rolling around in the sand, and I really hope that he can find a home soon, because he was so sweet. So we were there right at the end of Pride Month, and actually we were in the press, we were in some newspapers. I'll pop some screenshots here. Doing anything to raise awareness for a charity like the Dogs Trust is a good thing. So I'm just really grateful that you guys have chosen to support the Dogs Trust with your donations. It just means such a lot. And even if you didn't donate or weren't in a position to, just by watching my YouTube video, all of the ad revenue got added to the final total. So you guys watching the video helped raise more money for the Dogs Trust. So thank you for watching. Going forward, what I'd like to do is be going to visit the Dogs Trust in Leeds like a couple of times a year, just to see some of the residents, maybe make some content on Instagram as well for dogs that especially need rehoming, ones who've been there for a long time, just to help in any way that I can. Also, just to raise awareness about fostering. If I didn't have 2 dogs already, I would foster a dog, or maybe even when we don't live in this house, when we've got, you know, a bigger garden and more space, maybe I will look into fostering a dog, because they need people not just to donate, they need people not just to drop off donations of blankets and not just to adopt dogs, but to provide a temporary home. And this won't just be the Dogs Trust, but any dog charity. I'm sure they need people to foster, because Leeds are being overwhelmed with dogs. They've not got enough room, and the dogs aren't being rehomed quick enough either. What they need is a bunch of foster carers who agree to adopt the dog on a temporary basis, basically. The Dogs Trust will actually pay for all the costs, so it's not actually going to cost you any money. All you need to do is provide a loving home for a dog, a temporary loving home for a dog. Now, I don't know how easy that is, because I'm like, surely you get attached to the dog and you don't want to let it go. But especially if any of you are here in the UK and you're able to foster a dog on a temporary basis, inquire with the Dogs Trust. There's Dogs Trust all over the UK because they're in desperate need, all these shelters, of being able, essentially it's providing a luxury kennel, isn't it? It's just extra kennel space for them, except the kennel is your home. So yeah, if you can do that, definitely look into that. But thank you so much to the Dogs Trust for inviting me to have a look around, because honestly, that was just so lovely. And to be able to see the inner workings of a dog rehoming centre is amazing. I'll leave some links to the Dogs Trust below. I'll also, if any of these dogs are still available, because I know I'm 6 weeks late with this video, I will leave the links to them below as well, in case any of you are watching and going, I love that dog, I love Star, I love Bailey, I love Toffee, I can offer them a home. I will leave the links below if they're still available. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video and to see where your donations went. I had a little break last week, so thank you for bearing with me. I've had, basically, to be honest, I've had a bit of burnout, guys. I've just felt a bit overwhelmed with everything going on with social media, but also with other things going on in my life. Not necessarily bad things, just like, for example, working on the bathroom in the house. So every free moment that we've had over the last couple of weeks has been working on the bathroom, because we're fitting the bathroom ourselves. All boring stuff, you'll soon find out about it. I'm gonna make a DIY video about bedroom and bathroom transformation, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. But yeah, sorry for taking a week off. I mean, I know lots of you probably are like, Joe, I don't care, I'm busy. But I've had quite a few messages from people being like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? I'm like, no, I'm fine, I'm just feeling overwhelmed with everything. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to post any YouTube videos this week, but that's over now. I'm back on it. I'm going away next week, so I need to get ahead this week and start editing videos so they're all ready and planned. I'm going to Edinburgh. I cannot wait. I'm going to the Edinburgh Fringe. Anyway, this video is long enough. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you soon. Bye.